Hi, I'm Brent Stafford, and this is RegWatch by RegulatorWatch.com. The battle over Quebec's new anti-vaping law is heating up as the Canadian Vaping Association readies to file its constitutional challenge to Bill 44. The move follows a claim filed by the AQV, a group of independent vape shop owners in Quebec, and another filed by the ignominious Imperial Tobacco. The action being brought by the Canadian Vaping Association promises to bring to bear the full resources and experience of the national organization to fight what it says is an extraordinary attack on constitutional freedoms in the province of Quebec. When Quebec updated its tobacco control law late last year, it deemed vapor products to be tobacco products, thus subjecting them to the same harsh anti-tobacco regulations. The new rules have a chilling effect on the vaping industry as they prohibit retailers from demonstrating product use, detailing safety requirements, displaying products with their price, and discussing product benefits with the customer, meaning retailers are prevented from sharing any information that contributes to the notion that vaping is a safer alternative to smoking. This clampdown is seen as an assault on fundamental freedoms and goes to the heart of the CVA's action against the government of Quebec. Constitutional challenges in this area focus on two critical articles in Canada's Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Section 2B guarantees freedom of thought, belief, opinion, and expression, and Article 7 guarantees that everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of the person, a right not to be deprived of except in accordance with the principles of fundamental justice. Joining us today is Mark Keeley from K&A Consulting, the CVA's powerhouse public policy and government relations firm. Mark, thanks for coming on the show again. I imagine your team has been burning the midnight oil on the Quebec file.
Well, look, we've done a heck of a lot of work across this country. We've done a heck of a lot of work in the province of Quebec. I know that politics played a very large part in the decision to do what happened at the end of the day with the regulations that were put forward in the province of Quebec. And we think as we go down this path, cooler heads might prevail, but at the same time, if they don't, we've got some remedies up our sleeves.
Ooh, obviously you're talking about the CVA's legal challenge to Quebec's anti-vaping law. Mark, what's the main cause for the action?
A government can do whatever they want, but they can't be oppressive. And when there are issues of being oppressive, there are remedies that are put in place. We have a constitution in this country. The Constitution says that that governments must not infringe on the rights of individuals, and if that happens, and it could be challenged by the Charter of Rights, you have that opportunity to do that.
Mark, how tough could the legal battle be?
We have very tough legal counsel in the province of Quebec. They understand not only Quebec law and its application there too, but they understand the applicability of these kinds of regulations as it relates to somebody's charter rights. And that's why I think these are the right people that we have dealing with this issue for us in the province of Quebec, and I'm very confident.
So you think there's a strong argument to be made to challenge the law?
Well, there certainly is, because you can't say to somebody, we're going to ban this because it's in the same circumstance or it's in the same, it's treated as like a cigarette, because it's not a cigarette. So, we've got commerce, we've got the right to make an informed choice as a human being. And I think what the province of Quebec has done is it's really compromised an informed choice. The science weighs out in favor of this being a very good alternative to smoking cigarettes. And so to lump it in the same category is fallacious in our opinion, and we ought to make sure that our voice is heard so that we're not going to step back and be oppressed by a government that wants to lump it in the same category as that of a cigarette.
So Mark, it sounds like that the core freedoms guaranteed in the Charter of Rights are at play here.
Well, I think look, the issue in the province of Quebec it's a fundamental issue, and I think when you speak to our legal counsel, they'll be a lot more clear with you.
Got it. You can't be too clear about the details before the suit is filed. For our viewers, RegWatch has spoken with the legal team, and they assure us the lawsuit will be filed imminently, and we'll have complete coverage of the details when it happens. So Mark, you use the word oppression. Is that too strong of a word?
From a fundamental rights perspective, there is an oppression that's being perpetrated on those people who want to make sure that this is an alternative that they find safer by magnitudes than smoking a cigarette. So, let's have this discussion But if we're not going to have the discussion, I think it's fair to say that there are alternatives that are going to be pursued by the Canadian Vaping Association and those members who are part of this in the province of Quebec, who feel that this just isn't being weighted in a category that's fair and it's rightfully part of our human rights based on the Constitution.
Mark, is it possible the lawsuit could persuade the government to make changes to the law?
If it's something that the government wishes to mitigate by fixing at the outset, I think we could force an action. We force the government to act. So we're making sure that will happen in pretty short course. Failing that, I think that there's a whole legal process that falls into place, which requires deposition and those who are the subject of our lawsuits to be deposed. And so I think those are the kinds of things that are best left to lawyers, Brent. And we're certainly making sure that our members know that we haven't been sitting back idly on this one. That's for sure.
Is there a chance of success?
There's always a chance of success when somebody's rights are being infringed, when the evidence weighs out and the facts and the science weighs out in favor of this being a safer alternative to smoking cigarettes, most assuredly.
Finally, Mark, do you have a message for our viewers in Quebec?
Je voudrais informer tous nos membres de l'Association canadienne Vapeur au Québec que nous travaillons en étroite collaboration avec le gouvernement dans la province du Québec et à Ottawa pour assurer que tous ceux dans la province du Québec qui choisissent de vapoter plutôt que des cigarettes, de fumer attendre le voie. Et nous allons y arriver bientôt. Sois patient, s'il vous plaît.
Well, that's it for this edition of RegWatch. Before you head off, please like us on Facebook and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. For RegulatorWatch.com, I'm Brent Stafford.